I'm Nikki, and today I'm here with some of my musings and a cup of coffee because that always makes me a happy crafter. So we're going to actually do a couple of things today. We're going to take a look at some new kits. I'm going to tell you right now that this is also going to be my next craft along, like start to finish journal project, is this kit and this kit. I'll probably do them like one after the other, but they're going to be similar, and you'll see in a second what I'm talking about. Then we're also going to take a look at some more new stuff, and we'll look at a couple of projects that I made with it. Kind of fun. And then I am going to, right here at the top, I'm going to give you a couple of announcements really quick. The first is, I know I teased and kind of talked, or kind of, said that I was going to be taking over some of the journaling A to Z of junk journal stuff from Emily and over at Junk Journal Inspirations. And I have been working on compiling the list because you guys gave so many ideas. So I've been like cutting it down, grouping things together, trying to figure out like what are things that are actually going to be helpful topics. And then I'm working on kind of the first video is going to be, I think, just like an overview. Oh, pardon my like orangey hands. I've been doing some coffee staining. My hands are feeling very caffeinated. Okay, so I'm going to do just kind of an overview, and we'll just start there and then we'll start moving through. So that's going to be an on and off again project. Some of it we'll do as we work through this. We'll address some of the topics and some of the things and craft some stuff and, whatever. We'll just start working through it. And then the other thing that I am doing is I have a request. So you guys, I have my best friend, my dearest friend. Her name is Renee. I have known her since 6th grade, since we were like 11 or 12 years old. And she has a daughter. Well, she has 3 daughters, 3 beautiful, amazing daughters. Her kids are awesome. Her husband, awesome. They're very, very dear friends of ours. Her youngest daughter has a neurological disorder called neurofibromatosis. It's NF for short. And because of it, there's just, she's wildly like hilarious. Renee posts the things that she says on Facebook sometimes. She's funny, but she also, because of this, has some cognitive delay and some other things. Part of that means that it sometimes can be tough to, have friends. And, she misses doing some of the, neurotypical, as we would maybe say, things. So it was just recently her birthday, and I was going to ask you guys to do this beforehand, but I thought more of it, and I thought maybe it could be an ongoing thing. She loves checking when she comes home from school, she loves having her mom check the mail, and she wants to know if there's anything in there for her. And then she wants the junk mail. And I think she just likes opening mail, and it feels cool to her. Like, here, she got some mail. Well, Renee had put on Facebook and asked, instead of getting junk mail, maybe she could get birthday cards. And so a whole bunch of us sent birthday cards, and that was awesome. But I don't want it to stop there. I kind of think it would be really amazing if we sent her some happy mail. And it doesn't have to be anything more than just a handmade card or even a store-bought card. If it just has her name on it and it's a card for her, I think she will think that's awesome. And I think it would be cool to just say, hey, hope you're having a great day. Or, hope spring is nice for you because we're here in Minnesota, it's spring. Or, as you get close to the end of school, I hope, the rest of your school year goes really awesome, or whatever you want to write in there. Tell her a little bit about yourself, whatever, right? So she's 13. She likes the colors red and blue, and she likes bunnies. So, here's what I'm asking. I know that I have a handful at least of you guys out there who would be willing to send this 13-year-old special, amazing girl some mail. If you are so inclined to do that, please email me at the email address in the description box below. Okay, I'm going to have my email address there in the description box. If you email me and say, I would like to send Miley some happy mail, I will send you her name and address. Okay, I'm not going to just put that out here. So I want you to be intentional about it and email me. And I want to say a huge thank you in advance to anybody who's willing to do this. Again, it does not have to be anything more than just a card with her name on it and, you know, some cute picture on it or something. If you feel so inclined to make something a little bit cooler, because I know that, you know, we're crafty people, then that would be awesome too. She's a 13-year-old girl, you know, so whatever you want to send her. But red, blue, and bunnies, those are her favorites right now. She's also goes to church, so any sort of churchy stuff is good. Christian stuff. Our families are both very Christian and foundational that way. So anyway, guys, thank you in advance. Thank you in advance for even considering right now sending Miss Miley some mail, because I think this could be a really amazing thing in this young girl's life. So moving on from that, let's check out these kits. This first one. So I would like to send out a huge shout out and a huge thank you to my friend Beth, who is Luna Spirit Beth, who sent me an email and said, hey, I've got these hand-dyed papers that I made, and I made them into digital form, and I'm never going to really use them, and I'm wondering if you would like to use them, if you would ever use them for anything. And I was like, sure, send them over. Let me see what they are, and I'll see what I can do. If I feel so inspired or something. She sent me these lovely, like, pinks and greens and yellows, and they were made, well, you can see them in the background here. I had been saving this set of images, these watercolored butterflies and flowers, for a long time, for such a time as this. And the minute I looked at Beth's papers, I was like, yep, this is the watercolor set. So this, I give you Watercolor Garden, the Watercolor Garden. So it is flowers and butterflies and splattery paint, right? And these I have already backed with the backing papers. See, look at that. So I added a little bit of paint splatter over it, but then that's her yellows and pinks. And you know, the camera never picks up the depth as well as you get it in person. But so this first page is some lovely butterflies. Then we've got several pages of just lovely, you know, collagey flowers. This kit makes me happy. And like I said, I've backed them all. So these are ready to go. These are going to go into the journals that we make, that I'm going to make together. This one's got some butterflies. This was a really pretty, like, purpley background. I think this might be one of my favorite pages, mostly because this big iris reminds me of my mom. And like Morning Glories, we had them all growing over our yard when we were kids at the house I grew up at. More, and this has got my sunset colors in it, you know, some of my other faves. Some more pretty painterly butterflies. Look at how pretty that is. I just love these painty graphics. Some bright pink florals. I love this big rose image over here. Then here we go. I love this tiger lily. Do I just say I love something on each page, right? Because that... I love this page. There's another one. Then here's one with nice big butterfly. I love that butterfly. It's so pretty. Then I have a couple pages that just have like a more muted florals in the background and then kind of a bigger, more bright image. So like, you know, that one folded in half will look really pretty. Then we've got this page that says Beauty and Joy. with some of the watercolor painted behind it. And then this bright purple beauty here. All right, so those are the pages of the kit. And then I don't know what happened to the, well, and then you also get this background page. And let me see if I can find the other one. Yeah, here. You get these two background pages. So you get one that's kind of greens, yellows, and blues, and then you get one that's pinks and yellows, and a little bit lighter. These are both very easy to write on kind of colors. And you can back all the ephemera with it. I mean, however you want to use them. Or you could just, print them out and do your own layering and multimedia on there. Okay, so look, this is the paper pack. So there are 16 pages. So 14 image pages and then 2 background pages, okay? Then I also have an ephemera pack that is separate. So they're listed separate simply because I can't fit all the files together into one listing, so I had to list them separate. Etsy gives you limits on how much you can list in there. So we get some really big tags. Then we've got some smaller tags and some mini tags down here. And then we've got 2 envelopes. This is the first one. And this is the second one. Then I've got some doilies that are have ghosted kind of ghosted the flowers over them. So these, you can tear or fussy cut out. I dare you to fussy cut out the insides of this. I just thought these would be fun layering pieces and stuff, right? Then we've got some labels, some giant tickets down here, and a bingo card. I like how the tickets turned out. Those will be cute to stick in pockets or make into tuck spots. Then we've got some journaling cards, or pockets, or tuck spots, or whatever you want to make them into. Then a page of tear rip outs or fussy cuts. I kind of tried to put some color behind them a little, so you could either tear around them or you could go in and try and fussy cut around them a little bit. And then we've got these long tags or belly bands, kind of whatever you want to turn those into. But there are 5 of them. They say beauty, flowers, garden, lovely, and joy. Then I just wanted to show you, I printed them onto some parchment cardstock. And so this is what they looked like on there. It almost turned that watercolory thing into it gave it a whole new layer of depth, because this is kind of like a grayish colored parchment, and it just added another layer of depth. Now this one, you have to really look carefully to see where the lines were, but I did put just a little haze of pink shadow around the edges. So, so you can see, even on this paper, I'll be able to cut it out easily. And there's the envelope. There's some more ephemera tickets, the journaling cards, and the, whatever you want to call these, long tags, journaling sticks, flashcards, belly bands, whatever you want to call them. All right, so that's the ephemera pack for the Watercolor Garden. However, I made that set, and then I was like, I bet that those same watercolor painty images would look really nice over a vintage background. So I tried a few and instantly fell in love with that as well. So these I have printed with the backing pages as well. So you get this one in the kit. And I've put these over some script, some just vintagey papers and stuff, and it's darkened it up quite a bit, but it's the same exact set, only just over watercolor. So let me show you, or over a different background. So this is, there's no way to put them side by side really. Butterfly, right? The moth in the middle. Here's that, here's this image here. And here it is on here. See how it brings out different colors? So this one looks like a little more almost like chalky. And this one is more watercolory, painterly. Blah, blah, blah. So let's flip through this set really quick, because I'm also as deeply in love with the other set as I am also deeply in love with this set. Look at these yummy, yummy florals. Yes. Cheers to the yummy florals. All right. I really like how they look over these darker vintage backgrounds. This one, that was like one of my favorite pages in the other kit. Well, I just love it in this one too. Some little script. There's script in the background. There's tons of layering on these. So yeah, I love how this one turned out. I put some like scratchy grit kind of. Yeah. Just awesome. I love how these turned out. These would be so, I mean, you don't just have to use these as journal pages. Some of these, like these florals and stuff would be great for doing collage, master boards, all kinds of stuff. So, you know, if you don't want to make a full journal out of it, you can buy just the paper pack and use these as all kinds of things. Love this one, how it looks on this darker background. It makes those white butterflies pop even more. Love this one. Love them all. Here's that bright purple one. And here are the words. And then these are the two background pages. So you've got one that's kind of a yellowy, lighter tanner one, and one that's got some darker, this one's got some kind of forest greens, browns, and almost like a kind of a pinkish brown in here, and then some lighter color. So they're all printed on the back and ready to go, so I can use them in our next project. And then let's flip through the Ephemera Pack. These I have, let's see, mostly printed on, same thing, like a parchment cardstock. But it's a light kind of neutral. So again, these are the same layouts, just put over vintage backgrounds rather than the papers that Beth made me. So this one's printed on, these are the like ghosted floral doilies. This one's printed on the bright white paper. Then there's our tickets and journaling cards. These are the tears on this one, I put them over just a piece of vintage paper, and I printed this onto white because I wanted to be able to fussy cut it and use them as little embellishments. I didn't need that to be on cardstock. And then here are our belly bands, you know, letter sticks, whatever we want to call those. So this one is called the Vintage. These are the Vintage Watercolor Garden. So you can look for in my shop either the Watercolor Garden or the Vintage Watercolor Garden, and you will find these two kits. My shop is listed below. Then I had a lovely viewer, subscriber, customer say, Nikki, could you do, I love your cabinet card labels. Could you make them into large, like a really large format, like 2 to a page? And she said she has some things very specific in mind that she wants to do with them, and she would be ever so grateful. And I was like, sure, why not? And then as I was doing it, I was like, you know, I wonder, like, how do I see these being used? So let's flip through the kit really quick, and I'll tell you right now, there are several ways that you can use these, but you know, your imagination is your limit. So I've made them all so that they should fit well within an 8.5 by 11 size, you know, paper folded in half. So you could technically trim the labels off and stuff and actually use some of these as journal pages. You could do that. Some of them wouldn't work as well, but anyway, let's flip through them. So we've got 8 pages of these large vintage cabinet cards. Some of them, like I said, are a little bit smaller. So then I did put in just some words that you could rip out or cut out and use if you wanted to. And then these are a little smaller. And so I put some pieces of trim that you could use to decorate or as belly bands or whatever you wanted to do. And we have these two, and I've used these two in projects, so I'll show you those in a second. And I've used these two on journal pages. I've printed these all off on just a really pale off-white, like cream colored cardstock. I like this one. I like this one too. I kind of like them all. So that's the set. And here is what I have done with them. So I thought, you know, you could make these into large journaling cards, right? So this one, I took some of the Tim Holtz people and I used my Distress Glaze, which we will play with in an upcoming video. And I did some layering. I put some stenciling back here, some cheesecloth behind them, a bow, some little iridescent beads, some crocheted lace, some eyelash trim, and layered it all up. And this could get pinned or tucked into a journal, or you could glue the edges of it and make it be a giant tuck spot. Or you could just, you know, clip it in as a journaling card. And then kind of the same thing here. I took these lovely boys, put some Distress Glaze on them to make their suits have some color. Put a little, you know, cluster up here. I layered some book page. This is actually some old newspaper. I did some stenciling and stamping, some ribbon. And this too could just be clipped in as a journaling card. Or these would be lovely on the front of a journal. You know, like if you decorated one up, you could put this as your cover piece on kind of a vintagey journal. Then I also thought, okay, so I took one and I used my X-Acto knife to cut out the center and did some stamping on the paper behind it. And then I glued it down and I put these two little girls with some cheesecloth. This is really cute because it looks like she's sitting on the edge of the frame, right? The Tim Holtz People Pack has a bunch of people sitting, so that's kind of cute. You can use them just like I use this boy sitting on the edge of this one. But you could just glue the edges of it like this, and then you could slide a card in and out, and you'd see the card through, right? When you slid it in, you'd see whatever you put on your card, and then you could pull it out and have it be a journaling card. Then this one, I cut out the frame and I glued it on like a pocket, and I just used one of the tags from my Watercolor Garden. Oh, I stenciled on the page before I did this. And the card fits in there because these are, you know, this is a nice big pocket and that card fits well. And then I put another little Tim Holtz lady down here with some of the paper that I printed wrong, because, you know, we all know that Nikki prints papers wrong all the time. So I used some of the wrongly printed paper and collaged behind her just to give her a little color. And then I put some cheesecloth and put her on there. And that took seconds to do. And you certainly could layer this up some more, but it's all thin enough that this isn't going to bulk up a journal too much. But look at the fun pocket, and then there's still journaling room there. You know, you could use glossy accents to go around and do some accents or some sparkle pen, or you know, you can do all kinds of things to this. So, but then I couldn't stop there, and I thought, wouldn't some of these look cute as journaling cards with some flowers like layered on top of them? So I did that as well. So there are just 2 pages in this kit, but you do get 8 journaling cards, and these are floral cabinet cards. And these, you know, these would look really cute. Just they'd add to a lot of journals. I think I'll use them with the vintage Watercolor Garden kit because they're kind of vintagey. So I'm going to use this set to add in interest to that. Right? Also in my shop, I have watercolor labels that I've had in there for a while. They will definitely work well with the Watercolor Garden kit. And I have, like I said, I have these as a set of labels, so you can buy them in real small format. They definitely don't have to be just used for labels. I've seen people use them as all kinds of cool things. So anyway, go check out my shop for all those things. And here's the new kits. And like I said, this will be our next, start to finish journal kit, just because I am feeling it right now. So we're going to go with that. Oh, excuse me. Spring is lovely, but it also brings allergies. So there's that. All right. So we talked about Miss Miley and her mail. We talked about the kits. We talked about journaling A to Z, which is going to start. That'll probably be my next video. Will just kind of be my overview of, intro to what we'll be doing, and an overview of some of the topics and some of the things that people asked for or recommended. So that'll start that journey as well. So thank you for hanging out with me for a little bit today as we flipped through some of this new stuff. I hope you like it. I hope you go check out my shop, please, and thank you. If you watched my last video and you are in the Junk Journal Inspirations Facebook group and you are crafting along or using the springtime freebie, certainly if you go on Instagram or post it to our Facebook group or share it with me through, email or something, I would love to see what you do with it. I love seeing other people's work, especially if they're using my kits or something. I love seeing how creative you all are with everything. So anyway, send me pictures. I love seeing your work. Even if you're not using my kits, please. I just love seeing your work. That's part of why I love being a part of the Facebook group. I find lots of inspiration there. So anyway, guys, again, I will stop chatting now. Thank you for hanging out with me for just a little bit today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's Friday here, so I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. It is also the Friday before Easter. It's Good Friday here. So I will tell you all, have a wonderful and blessed Easter weekend. And I will just say the Lord is risen. He is risen indeed. And that provides the hope of salvation for, that is the center and core of my being in my life. And I would be remiss to not say that. So we celebrate this as one of our biggest and most important days of the year. And so we are glad that it is upon us. And I look forward to celebrating on Sunday. And I hope that I'm celebrating around the world with all of you on that day. And I hope you guys have a wonderful morning or afternoon or evening or middle of the night, whatever time it is, on whatever side of our globe that you live on. And until I see you next time, have a wonderful day. Stay crafty, stay healthy, stay safe, and be blessed, guys. God bless you, and take care. Bye-bye.